You're walking 10,000 steps a day, you're ticking your workouts off each week, and you're eating clean. But your weight has stalled and it is no longer moving. So inside this video today, I'm going to show you exactly what I do with clients when their weight is stalled and what we do to get things moving once again. And I'm going to break this down over 5 steps. Firstly, step number 1, we need to really identify whether it's actually just a weight fluctuation or if it is a general weight plateau. So this is my weight over the last 30 days. I've weighed myself literally every morning. And at the minute, I'm in a little bit of a harder calorie deficit. I'm getting ready for a photo shoot just 2 weeks from now. And as you can see, that graph is bouncing all over the place. On average, it's half a kilo to a kilogram different one day to the next. Now, there's many things that determine our scale weight, more so than just body fat, and people forget this. When you're on a weight loss journey, they think the number they see on the scale is purely just fat going up or down. A large part of what affects our weight is water. This here is 1.5 liters of water, and if I drink all of this right now, I will gain 1.5 kilos in weight, as the volume of this bottle is now in my stomach. Sounds pretty obvious, but most people forget this. Depending on how well you slept last night or how hard you trained yesterday can straight away affect water levels in the body. Also, depending on what you ate yesterday and how late you ate it, because you're still digesting some of that food now. And of course, how much you drank. If you're hydrated versus dehydrated, this will immediately affect your scale weight readings. So if you ain't already, my first suggestion is that you weigh yourself more frequently, at least 3 or 4 days a week. You don't have to do it every day like I do, but if you do it day on, day off throughout the week, you can then just take an average by the end of the week. This will give you more information and definitely be less triggering than just weighing yourself once a week and seeing it 1 or 2 kilograms up compared to the week before. And if you're not really noticing any downwards trends in your scale weight after at least 4 to 6 weigh-ins, and it's been the same for maybe 2 or 3 weeks, then it more than likely is a genuine plateau. So now we've got that out of the way, let's go into the next 4 steps to work out what we can do to actually break this and get the scales moving once again. So number 2, you can't outwalk your fork. It doesn't really matter how much exercise you're doing or how many steps you're completing. As you're already aware, fat loss comes from a calorie deficit, and it is very difficult to burn more calories than you're consuming if you're just unaware of how much you're eating. And even if it was working before and you've lost a lot of weight, this will change, which moves me on to point number 2. You've most likely had a metabolic adaptation, and this really occurs in 2 ways. As you start to weigh less, your body requires less calories than it did previously, but the more fitter you become, the more efficient your body comes and the less calories you burn by completing the same activities. So let me explain. First of all, if you weigh 100 kilos and you go on a mile walk versus if you weigh only 50 kilos and you do the same mile walk, the person that weighs 100 kilos has double the amount of weight to carry. Therefore, they burn more calories doing that walk. This is a bit of a misconception, but people that have more weight think that they have a slower metabolism. Is actually the opposite way around. Secondly, let's say that you've just got into running and you're not very good at running. You're quite unfit and you're carrying more weight. You're going to burn quite a lot of calories just by doing a 5K because you're quite inefficient at doing it. But let's say you've been running now for 2 or 3 months. You realize it's easier for you to do that 5K, your heart rate is lower, you've lost a bit of weight. You've now become more efficient at completing the same activity. Therefore, your body will burn less calories per minute by doing that. So over time, metabolic adaptations will occur as you lose weight and as you become fitter. So this really moves me on to point number 4. You're probably eating more than you think. And even if you were getting away with it previously, there is less room and opportunity for you to get away with it now. Even healthy foods will start to add up. And things like oils or sauces or just a handful of this can end up being more calories at the end of the day than most people realize. You need to be in a deficit of 500 calories a day to lose 1 pound at the end of each week. And if you are bridging that gap, it could be the difference of you seeing some results just a couple weeks from now or things feeling like they're still extremely slow. And lastly, number 5, probably one of the most important, is that you're mistaking effort with progress. Don't get me wrong, there are going to need to be times where you get out there and tick off the boxes, do your steps, complete your workouts, but you could be doing all these things, and if you're still guesstimating your food intake, it could be the difference of you progressing or not progressing at all when it comes to at least your body fat. So remember, sometimes fat loss isn't just about working harder, but being smart with the strategy in which you're following and definitely being more accurate as time goes by. So my suggestion would be that you start tracking your food intake this week. You don't have to always do these things forever, and some of my clients have never tracked their calorie intake at all, but they'll at least have a strategy to be more organized and more accurate of whatever it is that they're doing. Whether this is a meal planner, calorie tracking, or food photos where I provide them with feedback. But honestly, if the weight hasn't moved in at least 2 or 3 weeks, if you just get more dialed in and accurate with how many calories are in each meal, even just for the next week, I can promise you things will start to move once again. And if you feel like you're doing everything and you're still stuck and maybe you just need more accountability to actually stick to the plan properly or a better method so you can remain consistent, then I've left a link in the description of this video. Tap on it, it explains all the information about my program and the results I've been getting with clients now over the last 10 years. And if you want some help, you'll be able to submit a quick application, explain to me a little bit more about your goals, and I'll be in touch to explain how I can help. And of course, if you found this video helpful, just like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.